Hello everyone and welcome back to another Star Wars figure review. As promised, we're going to take a look at the Vintage Collection Wave 4 today. These particular figures look at characters from Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and this is the final movie-specific wave that was released as part of the Vintage Collection. The first figure I'm going to give you a look at is a repack of a Legacy Collection figure, and it's this guy here. This is of course Obi-Wan Kenobi, as he is seen in Attack of the Clones with his longer hairstyle and whatnot. Pretty cool figure for the most part. I'll get on to some of its pros and cons in just a minute. First up, we're going to take a look at the packaging that this guy comes in. Now, the loose figure that I've just shown you is actually the original Legacy Collection version of Obi-Wan, and this is of course the Vintage Collection Obi-Wan. As you can see, it's got the Attack of the Clones logo at the top of the card there, as well as the image of Obi-Wan on the card back. Quite a uninspiring image, I must say, of Obi-Wan. Not too exciting. He looks a little bit bored, if I'm being honest. Looks like he's reading a newspaper or something. And then obviously there you've got the figure inside the bubble. On the back you've got what Hasbro calling the original release of an Attack of the Clones Obi-Wan Kenobi from 2002 to 2004. This is actually inaccurate. The first Attack of the Clones release of Obi-Wan Kenobi was in 2002, and it wasn't actually this figure, it was the one that comes with the droid that unleashes the little creepy crawly bug things into Padme's room on Coruscant, and then obviously Obi-Wan jumps out of the window and grabs onto the droid and goes flying around the Coruscant skyline. That was the very first Attack of the Clones Obi-Wan to be released, and the one that they've pictured on the card back is actually a figure from 2004 and is based on Obi-Wan's appearance in the Outlander nightclub. So Hasbro really need to get their facts right. At the side there obviously you've got the Vintage Collection description, as well as some of the other figures from the wave pictured along the bottom, and I'll be reviewing all of these in due course. As I said, the loose figure that I've just shown you is the Legacy Collection version of Obi-Wan, whereas this is obviously the vintage one. These two figures are one and the same, although with the new Vintage Collection Obi-Wan there are a few added paint applications. Don't know how well it shows up, but part of the tunic on Obi-Wan's chest is slightly darker on the new Vintage Collection version, and there are also a couple of added paint applications on the lightsaber hilt as well. But other than that, the figures are exactly the same. The only other difference is that the figure that was released in the Legacy Collection didn't come with the Jedi robe. But if you've got enough of these hanging around, you can easily recreate this figure. So onto the figure itself. I really like this. It's definitely one of my favourite Obi-Wan figures that I've got in my collection. I'm not entirely keen on these sort of Jedi robes, especially when the hoods start to look really stupid like that. I think it'd be cool if Hasbro started to put the wire in these cloaks just to make them flow a little bit better. I'll just remove the cloak to give you a better look at the figure itself. As I said, there are a few added paint applications on the new Vintage Collection figure. It's this part of the tunic that's painted ever so slightly darker, and also there's a couple of details around the top of the lightsaber hilt that have been painted on the new version as well. But other than that, both figures are exactly the same. In terms of accessories, obviously it does come with his lightsaber, and he also comes with a little Jedi comlink, which is an extremely tiny accessory, but there it is. And there's actually a socket on the back of the comlink, and there's a plug on the back of Obi-Wan's belt, and the comlink can be attached onto the back of his belt nice and tightly like that. There's some superb detail in this figure, and as I said, it's definitely, in my opinion, one of the best Obi-Wan Kenobi figures available. In terms of articulation, he's ultra articulated. He has a ball jointed neck, ball hinged shoulders and elbows, swivel wrists, ball jointed torso, ball hinged hips, ball hinged knees and ball hinged ankles. So he is, he's flawless really. You can't get much better than this. Definitely one of the best Obi-Wan Kenobi figures ever released. I think I've just about touched base on all the points of this figure. As I said, there's not really much to say about him. He's just a generic Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'll just give you one more look at him with the Jedi robe on. I must admit, this figure does look really cool in action with the new Jango Fett from the Vintage Collection. You can set up a really cool Kamino battle scene with these figures. So, if you haven't got an Attack of the Clones Obi-Wan Kenobi figure, this is definitely the one to get, and I highly recommend it. So I hope you've enjoyed having a look at this figure, and I'll be back with some more reviews on the Vintage Collection Wave 4 very soon. Until next time, keep collecting, and may the Force be with you.